Got off the
We shall begin. Good morning. It's
16.
8:30. Let's call this meeting to order. Do we have any public comments? Any public comments? Any public comments?
Hey, I'll say something.
Yeah.
If you guys weren't at trunk or treat on Friday night, you missed 1,705 people.
I saw the cars. I drove by.
1,705, and those are the ones you could count.
Very
I
good.
saw,
But it
I
was
saw
very
some
well
of the participants
attended.
at Hy-Vee gas station.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm guessing they were all dressed up.
All right. All right. Do we have a motion to acknowledge the minutes from
So moved.
October 14th?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Number county engineer.
Good morning, supervisors. We had a pretty busy week last week in the road department. We had our pre-construction conference for the Libertyville Road Bridge. The contractor will begin on October 28th,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No.
No, 1 week,
One
next
week.
Monday. Next Monday, they will begin, they'll set up the road closure. They'll be closing Libertyville Road and Juniper. So the quarry traffic will have to go south out of the quarry. We're setting up 2 detours, one for heavy trucks, which will go east out of Libertyville and wind around to 257th to hit Highway 1, because that has a brand new bridge on it that can handle the over 80,000 pound loads. Vehicles under 80,000 pounds will be able to go north on Hemlock to get to Old 34 to get into town. We will be dust controlling 300 feet in front of each house on the gravel detour, and then also 300 feet from each intersection.
Do the residents know that?
Probably not. I don't know if Thomas put it in the road closure or not.
Did you by any chance get a hold of the union, the newspaper that publishes twice a week? So somebody might be
He
able
and
to
I
know.
have been trying to get a meeting. He's supposed to call me after the supervisors meeting so he can get a story in the paper about that.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it would be. We tried to connect last week, but our schedules didn't
Mhm.
coincide, but we should get it done this week, so we will have a article in the newspaper, hopefully prior to the detour being set up. See, we had a maintainer operators roundtable with Wapello, Keokuk, Henry, Washington, and Lee County maintainer operators. A couple years ago, we sent 2 of the guys to a training that the Iowa local agency training program put on. And the consensus was that they learned what a great operator the trainer was. But they really didn't learn anything about grading roads in southeast Iowa. So Billy approached me last spring and wanted to know if I would be on board with having a roundtable, hosting a roundtable with various counties. So for the training that we sent them to a couple years ago, it was $125 a person for the training that we didn't feel was very beneficial. We sponsored the lunch at this one for about $320. We had 26 operators there. And we would like to do this every couple of years, kind of rotate counties to do it, to take on the sponsorship. But we feel that being able to compare techniques and procedures with different operators that do the same job in the same kind of environment that we have is beneficial. So I think the lunch tabs on our payments on our claims this week. So that's when that comes. If there's any questions about that, that was our thinking on that and why we did it the way we did. see what else we have. We will finish patching on Libertyville, or we'll finish the concrete patching this week. We've got some patching left on Pleasant Plain Road and East Pleasant, and in East Pleasant Plain. Once we get that done, we'll go back to ditching and then get to patching on those chip seals where they've had data just pushing out. I know there's been some concern about that from the public. Lee gave me an email this morning that referenced one of the roads that
Just did.
is on our list. Didn't say which one, but there's two of them that have some issues, 146th and then Juniper. And what else we got? Talked about that. And then I gave you guys the bid tabs
Is this number 2?
for the.
I just want to say, all our maintain operators are phenomenal, but I wanted to single out Tommy Langford several years ago, when I was on the board first time around. And I don't know if his district is still south of Batavia there or not, but we were down there and he did a demo, and I'm telling you, and I am not exactly that young man who pirouettes with that maintainer. He could turn that thing around in areas where I couldn't even be. It's just absolutely phenomenal what he can do with that maintainer.
Yes. And he is younger than you and I, but he's not much younger than I. He has a lot of years' experience in that.
Okay. Discuss and consider award of contract for project FM-C051, parent 9455-512025, chip seal.
This is our chip seal project that you guys approved for bid here a while back. This is for Dowds Road from the county line up to Libertyville. Pleasant Plain Road from the Fairfield city limits north to 167th. We've got a rock interlayer, a double chip seal on 1/10 from Highway 1 to Pleasant Plains. That it's rough. It's in rough shape. It actually rides fairly smooth for the condition it's in, but if we don't get it sealed off soon, that won't last. There's some patch areas on that need addressed, but the stone interlayer to re-establish the crown, and then the chip seal to kind of seal everything in place is what we can afford. And then we've got 218th East Main in Lockridge from the four-way stop east to the county line. We're gonna mill off the old asphalt overlay and the old 3-inch concrete curbs, and then put a stone interlayer and a double chip seal on that. A couple of years ago, we looked at doing an asphalt project and it came in way, way over budget. And it's just a lot more of a reasonable solution price wise, and for the traffic count that's on it, it should do a good job. We came in 14% over budget. Oil was cheaper, rock was more expensive. But I don't see prices going down. Henry County is tag teamed on for the 0.8 mile immediately east of the county line on old 34 218, and Jip was on board with proceeding with the project if we chose. And I recommend that we award the contract to LL Pelling. We had 2 bids.
Yeah, that's good. You had 2
Yeah,
bids.
Pelling was roughly $1,050,000. The other outfit was $2.5 million. So I think we, you know, looking at competitive bid quotes, or competitive bidding, we got a pretty good deal, even though it was more expensive than. I hope that it's still, I think, within reason.
So is, any or all of this farm to market money?
This is all farm to market money.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
One other thing on that, I know we've had some complaints about rock chips from our existing chip seals that we've done, and I know you had a heck of an issue with that on Salina Road. And what we're doing this time around is we're using limestone chips, so they're less likely to become airborne because they're lighter and more of a flat particle as opposed to a rounded. And then we're also putting a lighter oil seal over the top of that with sand to help lock that in place.
And on Salina, I'm sure you've been told, but we use boiler slag. And I think Tom Goff was the engineer at the time, or at least he was when the contract was. And what we thought we were getting was what they put on 185th, which was glass beads, and we got,
Yeah,
Metal.
you got
Yeah.
the slide. But
it
honestly,
fit perfect in the treads of the
yeah,
tire.
but honestly, had they thought to put the additional seal over the top of it, there wouldn't have been an issue. And that, you know, that's been 10 years
Yeah.
that's in place. That's almost unheard of to get 10 years out of a chip seal like that. So it was a good process. He just didn't
Yeah, well, I'm
design in
saying
the
that's
second
what we
step
ended
they
up-
needed.
We ended up spending an additional $170,000 and they went back over and.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the additional coat with a lighter binder and sand to kind of stay on top of that, as it were, get in front of that, so we don't have that issue.
About $10,000 worth of windshields. And it was a perfect storm. But like I said, they fit right in this thread in the tread of a tire and then fling it like it was a slingshot.
All right.
But it's very durable.
Yeah,
Number 3, discuss and consider 28E agreement with Keokuk County for sharing portable work zone traffic signals.
Yes, we got our traffic signals. We've been using them for our patching, but one of the conditions of our TSIP grant from the state is that we have to share that with a neighboring county, and Keokuk was the first one to raise their hand to say, sure, so we found somebody else's 2080 agreement that looked reasonable, changed the names, and that's what you have in front of you.
Has the attorney's office looked at this?
No, I don't believe they have.
Because typically they do, at least give it a,
Yeah, it's fairly basic.
yeah,
Agree
no,
to
it
share-
looks like
to
a
share the
form.
costs, and if it breaks while you have it, you pay to fix it.
I think we ought to tell Dave Wood and Mike Hadley, it's $10,000 a week.
Storage cost.
Storage company, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
So do we have, well, I mean, and I guess I'll back up, I'll put it this way. I'm assuming that you and their engineer will make sure everybody's on the same page, so we're not trying to have it, use it at the same.
We have first rights of use,
Okay.
unless we loan it to them and then it's in their possession until they get done with it. But yeah, we are the primary use partner of the item. We don't need it that often. Right now, when we're doing concrete patching, it works great. But I can foresee. I don't foresee an issue sharing with Andrew and his staff.
So is this for a specific project though?
No,
Okay, because I was just saying, Plans for construction of project. Am I looking at the wrong thing? No, it says works on portable traffic signals.
Now that's kind of boilerplate language. That's I think that wording was scalped straight from the DOT's TSIP grant paperwork.
Okay.
Because even though it's for a device, they still have the plans. The plan language in there.
Okay. Well,
It's not, or we can run it by the attorney's office. It's not time sensitive by any means.
It's not. I think it's a good idea just because we typically do.
Mhm.
And if one thing you might ask about or get some input from this board is, do we need to have in there, we have like first dibs on it, or, my only frame of reference is people come and go,
Mhm.
and you and Andrew may have an agreement. But if one of you isn't here anymore, things could change.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's necessary. That's just been,
Yeah, I think that references the grant language, which that's in the grant language, which I did not include for you guys.
right.
I apologize for that.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere in here. Just based on some experiences with positions changing and things not being written down.
Mhm. If it's not written down, it didn't happen.
Bingo. Just trying to prevent a dilemma later.
Appreciate that, thank you.
So these are. This one's just reference. And this is the one that. Am I looking at?
This looks like rough draft work or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing. It doesn't matter how many times I go through Microsoft Word, about every 10th time I forget to have it change the setting where it shows the changes. I apologize about that.
Why don't you just
So what, then this
clean
one
it up and
is,
bring it back?
I'll clean it up and bring it back next week.
Thanks. All right, number 4, discuss and consider resolution for low water stream crossing posting of Big Cedar Creek on Kale Avenue.
I'll get her cleaned up for you next week. Elizabeth and Chauncey. We anticipate that with Libertyville Road being closed, that maybe the heavy truck traffic from the quarry may want to take the
Shortcut.
shortcut, and it's our opinion that low water stream crossing cannot handle heavy truck traffic. So we would like to put a 10-ton, 20,000-pound weight limit on that to discourage heavy trucks from using it. But we need a motion for approval from the board to do that.
so moved.
I'll second that. Do we have any discussion?
I think at some point we should have better signage similar to what Henry County has for their road crossings. Because we don't have near the signage they do.
Excuse me.
In line with the fact that that guy tried crossing there several months ago when the water was high. And he's big truck ended up 1/4 mile down the street.
You should turn right and follow it up street.
He was using the lead limit approach, I think.
I see.
Yeah.
I can understand. I thought it was a cul-de-sac.
There you go.
Okay, do we have any more discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Number 5, discuss and consider speed limit change for mobile traffic signal controlled work zone within Jefferson County. And this says, be it resolved by the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors to approve a speed limit change to mobile traffic signal controlled work zone within Jefferson County to 25 miles per hour.
The traveling public is doing a very good job of stopping at our traffic signals, but they're trying to make up time. Once the light turns green, they think they're on the drag strip. So we would like to have it, limited to 25 miles per hour. So if there's a lot of speeding going on for our guys' safety, that we can call the sheriff and have an enforceable speed limit through the work zone.
You know what it is, they want to get through it before it turns green on the other side.
Well, we had that issue the first day. We didn't have our delay set long enough.
Oh, okay. I was.
The lights were turning before but that only happened a couple of times before we caught it, and nobody was injured or no property was damaged.
I didn't have a clue. I really didn't know. Motion to approve.
Make sure you write that down.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
But they didn't have a clue.
That's right, yeah.
That part.
There's no need to put that in the minutes, everybody.
I'll second it. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
At least I don't get attacked by deer.
Number 6, discuss and consider resolution for PG minor subdivision. So what can you tell us about this?
If I remember correctly, they're splitting off a homestead from hunting ground. So it kind of ends up with an odd looking lot if you look at the survey, and that kind of the timbered area is. They have an existing access drive shown on there. So from our standpoint, they've got access. It meets our requirements, and their parcel split. They have to do a minor subdivision because of the way the lot's laid out with the previous splits.
Okay.
If it would have been the first, but it's not anything that raised any flags or concerns.
Looks pretty straightforward. Paperwork seems to be there.
Like I've seen a lot of that this year where people are consolidating what I would guess I'd call it either a timbered lot or a hunting lot, and then splitting the ag ground off from it. There's been a lot of that this last summer, so.
Interesting.
I'd make motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Meet with the ambulance director. Morning, Josh.
I don't have a lot to discuss. About to fall. Yeah, I don't have a lot to discuss. Staffing last week was awful. It looks a little better this week. Still have a few holes in the schedule, but we're getting there. I have had 2 applicants from the Indeed job post. There seems to be a mass exodus from Henry County.
I am not surprised.
I'm not sure what's going on there, but from the sounds of it, they got the tax levy approved for EMS. And now they're going with, from what I understand, a private service rather than giving that money to the existing ambulance. I don't know all the details. That's just what I've heard in passing. So people are upset and we're gonna get some of those staff, so. Yeah,
Medics settled.
yes, well, so that's my next question. Right now, our staffing is built basically 2 EMTs and 2 paramedics every day. Is there an issue or can I bring on more full-time paramedics and have less EMTs on the schedule? Is that gonna hurt anything
I
or
want
is
a
it?
paramedic on every rig. That's the only requirement.
Okay, if we have 2 paramedics on every rig, is that gonna hurt?
And so do we all agree with that?
But a paramedic on every rig.
Well, I just,
Yeah, it's always been that way.
I know, I just want to verbalize that.
So, but if I bring on more medics, I guess it's just a budget thing that I'm not really certain about. Are we
I'm just speaking for myself. From my perspective, whatever it takes to run 2 rigs 24 hours a day.
Okay,
So we're doing.
so I could have 4 paramedics on every day
We're
and,
doing,
you're not
we're
gonna
doing
get-
transfers and stuff rather than having running in town.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I'm not speaking for the other 2. I'm just speaking for me.
I think probably overall, the cost difference is not gonna be majorly significant compared to the quality of service and the importance of having paramedics, which
I
are difficult to come by.
wholeheartedly agree.
Because obviously it's not good to be without a paramedic, which we have been recently, and
Yes.
you have bared the brunt of that, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll put an extra candle on your birthday cake, okay?
I like it. I like it.
Lee has enough on his.
But you gotta provide the cake.
Well, all right, cool. So yeah, that was just my biggest question as far as bringing on more people, if it was gonna be an issue to have more medics. Cause I believe, several of these people that are coming over want full-time. So obviously the people who are already on the schedule will get the precedence or priority, but
what kind of a schedule are they used to working over there? I'm just
I
curious.
think they do 224s there as well. Yeah, so coming here is not gonna be much of a difference for them as far as that goes. And at some point, I'm gonna try, I've already started to put it together where I want like a set schedule for everybody. One, so they can plan their lives, but 2, it makes scheduling easier for us, so.
Well, and you're
That's
gonna have
the-
people that have medical issues or maternity leaves or whatever.
Right,
So something I do want to point out, and this is in the handbook, and they read the handbook and they sign the handbook, so they should be able to see it, but I know how that works too. If they're full-time employees at Jefferson County, we are the priority. We're not telling them they can't work somewhere else.
Mhm.
But we are the priority, and if the need exists for them to be here, that is the priority.
Yep.
And I know a lot of our folks, and it's what happens in the industry, and I know that that's the way the system works. So a lot of them work for other ambulance services as well, but full-time employee here, we are the priority.
Mhm.
And even if they work full-time somewhere else, and I know we have some that do that.
Yeah,
But I think Mike Long is maybe one of them, I don't know. And I'm not finding fault with anybody, I'm just pointing out
yeah,
that our need comes before,
I agree. Yep. Yep,
that's all.
Yeah. cool. Other than that, not really a lot going on. Permar is gonna be here this week. They should actually be here today. To start or to finish up, I guess, the installation process for the the prox cards for us.
When we get that final bill,
Yep,
make sure that Elizabeth gets a copy of it.
absolutely. Our protocols, I did put in a request to get our protocols updated. Finally got the approval for that last week, so Dr. Moreno signed the updated protocols, and we're working on getting those implemented probably within the month, just because we do have a little bit of training to get everybody caught up on. And then we'll be able to push those out. And the second part of that is our medications. So I've talked to the pharmacist at the hospital. We're gonna go back or transition to a hospital-based pharmacy where we don't have any drugs on site, other than what's in our drug box.
I thought that's the way we were from the get-go.
Well, so it's been kind of a combination. So the non-controlled medications,
Right.
we've had at base.
Okay,
So essentially, we buy them from the hospital and just store them at the
right,
station.
okay, right,
We're gonna go away from that and go back to where the hospital just has all of our drugs.
okay.
With that, we're gonna look at some different storage and things like that. So there may be an expense coming up where we're purchasing new drug boxes for the ambulances, because, and I'm not a big fan of it either, but the pharmacist would like us to do something different with how we store our medications on the ambulances. Right now, all of our drugs are in our first out jump bag, sitting on the cot. They should be stored behind a locked door. And so we're working on that, but then putting all of our stuff in one spot.
So are they, are we still getting discounts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's gonna change at all. We'll get charged basically, I think what, I guess we haven't had that, I meet with her today and I'll ask that question for sure, but. Yeah, so the hospital will just charge us for the drugs we use.
Yeah,
As
but
far
I
as
mean,
that goes.
I think it was like cost plus 10% or something.
It's probably something like that, yeah. I'll ask today. I meet with her this afternoon. So,
And the three-legged stool ambulance board had a meeting last week, so I invited Josh to go so he could meet everybody, and it was good to have you there. I know
yeah,
they
it was
kind
good
of,
to,
we talked about transfers, which of course I can't wait till we get our staffing resolved, but you
Yeah.
handled that well, and I think everybody understands, it's short term, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
there is light at the end of the tunnel and we're getting there. But,
So when will these, I assume you reached out to the two from Indeed?
I called, one I got last week, I called him, left a message, he hasn't replied. The other one came in over the weekend, so I'm gonna reach out to him today.
And if he wants full-time, tell him he's got it.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah,
Can you start tomorrow?
Right. yeah.
We still do background checks, right?
Yes, we still do,
Okay, just-
yeah, we still do background
just wanna be
checks
clear,
and
he just can't-
an orientation, but the orientation is
We'll get to it in 6 months.
relatively,
Stop it.
Okay.
it's actually pretty easy to do the background checks now, so. But yeah,
Is Bart doing for you?
no, we do, it's called a SING background,
Oh,
so it's all done through the state. So I put in their information on the website and it kicks back like 30 seconds to say whether they have a record or not, so
okay.
it's pretty quick. Yeah, so that's all I got. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
All right,
Hang out for a while, though, would you? I want to talk to you after.
Yeah, absolutely.
discuss and consider appointing Gloria LaFollette to Board of Health, and this is to replace Jenny Henshaw's position who resigned effective the middle of October. And I reached out to Gloria, and when I reached out to her, she said, well, Joni already talked to me about that. So it was good to know that Joni had reached out, and she's looking forward to it. I think she'll be really good. So yeah,
Can we know a little bit about her?
she's a nurse
First name starts with a
practitioner,
G.
Stop it.
Okay.
and I think
Has she
she's,
worked here a while?
yeah, I've gone to her
She
for
hasn't
2 or
hit
3
any deer
years and
lately.
she's
She
pretty,
what?
Hasn't
down
hit
to
any
earth
deer
and-
lately.
yeah.
Abby, quit laughing. You encourage her.
Have you? No? Of course, you don't get to approve it anyway, so what the-
No.
So,
No, I'm, those folks are hard to come by, so.
I know, I'm grateful
Yeah.
she's willing to do this
Yeah.
because I think she's local, plus otherwise it would have, I think, been hard to find somebody.
We're next to Camel on her birthday cake too.
So I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second, third.
Okay, we got a second. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. When's your next meeting, Joe?
We meet with Jerry November the 4th, but I think it's the 23rd of November is our next public health meeting.
I can give you her email address.
Pardon?
I can give you her email address. Because you'll have to let her know about meetings and stuff.
Chris will do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
Chris probably has it.
Yeah.
Okay, discuss and consider property tax suspension for Frederick Shattuck. We got email and he's, I know, done the paperwork that Mark asked and it looks pretty straightforward. And it's a suspension.
That's true.
So if we approve this, you need to just connect with the treasurer across the hall, just to see what you need to do. And we've got the paperwork to show the income. So I don't know if you got any questions.
No, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware that it is a suspension and not an abatement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all right, you're ready. Do we have a motion?
motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Not yet. He's still thinking.
Well, no, I don't have, I mean, obviously,
I'll second it and then we can have discussion.
okay.
Yes, thoughts?
So your property taxes are paid through your mortgage,
Yes.
which is not uncommon. I'm not, but my question is, so is the mortgage company going to be notified of this? Are they gonna stop withholding it or how's that gonna work?
Yeah, Steve's told me to, just contact them when I find out
Okay,
what's about.
okay. I just, cause I know, it's real common that they do an escrow.
Yeah, okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Is there a resolution for this that he can take to? Because, I mean, him calling the mortgage company and saying, yeah, it's not necessarily going to be,
We'll have the minutes for your meeting. Yeah,
okay.
okay.
So I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
Okay, you want to vote?
Yeah.
Say
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
so,
motion passes. Okay,
so the auditor's office will get you so that you have
Something in
something to take
writing.
to the mortgage company.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
It'll help a lot.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Make committee reports.
I would say about Semco, the issue has been the high winds lately. They stopped. stop taking trash when it's windy like that. And other than the, again, back to Trunk or Treat. Our ambulance service was out there. The kids really liked the lights.
We had the back of it. We had a skeleton on the cot.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, so we had a skeleton on the cot and Sarah brought in like some black lights and we had it, cobwebs and stuff all over it.
Uh-huh.
It was decked out.
No wonder I got all those comments from the kids.
And then the best part was we had the candy on the ground in a body bag.
That's good. That's good.
And yeah, so that was a lot of like, oh my God, is that a body bag? Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun.
Good.
Speaking of body bags.
Should have had one of our crew members in with the candy over the top.
Well, we thought about that. I think next time we do it, we'll put like the skeleton in there and then put the candy around the skeleton.
Yeah, I think Lee was volunteering.
I want
That's what I
to
heard.
that, yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But I got a message, about where do we buy body bags from our person that. I think she's not a physician, but she does,
Oh,
we've approved her.
yeah.
Anyway, so we had this whole day process of figuring that out, and we came up with a process, so. We now have a process for purchasing those, the things you never know you.
We just go to Hy-Vee and get heavy duty.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh dear.
And then I had ACT, we went to the ambulance
What do
meeting.
you call it? The ones that smell like lemon or something else, that have a little fragrance to them. So that's the body bags that we get.
And then Friday, I went to the Wall of Honor at the high school program, and it's really, she goes sometime. I went because my dad was an honoree and it was the 20th anniversary, and so they had family members come too. But they had 3 inductees, and it was just interesting to hear about, people from anywhere can go off and do anything, so.
Yeah.
Or people that from here that stay local and do things. It was good.
I know, Lori from Agriplastics, she was very instrumental in starting the engineering program at the high school.
Yes.
And the, part of the thought process behind that, we've often lamented that our kids, when they go off to college, they don't come back because there's really, they go get educated in some area of expertise, but that expertise is hard to come by here. And she was very big on wanting to bring engineers and stuff back to the community. And, I don't know how you gauge the success of the program, I guess, but one of her very first participants was my son Darren. And she's come full circle. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in the community. Obviously, he works at Hill Phoenix, but the point is that
That's good.
and they funded that program when it needed funding. So I give her all kudos in the World Manufacturing Association.
Did you have any committee reports? No,
I didn't have anything.
Parties was closed last week.
all right.
I did see the doctor.
Okay, claims.
Got my truck.
My party is the doctor now.
So there's space where I used to take my truck, because mine's done. And they do body work, 4 Seasons. And I'll get you a discount.
3 months, that's how long I've had it, and 2 people hit me,
Have you thought about trading the?
maybe.
The one with the deer dent?
Yeah.
Elizabeth's not here.
When we were in Michigan, we in our vehicle and we're involved when it hit everybody.
So you want to talk to us about
Get somebody in ring.
We did.
why a couple of these food ones are highlighted, Abby?
Oh, I-
Because they're
looked at that
food.
yet.
Their food,
Right, because the
is that your complaints?
one was lunch for the grand jury. That was out of the county attorney's budget. And I know when I was on jury duty years ago, they had lunch for us, so I don't know if that's a new thing, if they did it then.
Well,
And the
we're
other
gonna have
one,
some serious
the-
budget discussions
The
this
county
year about
engineers
funding
thing.
court services and DHS.
So I don't know if
I think
that's
there are no stones left unturned with the budget.
right.
I haven't not yet looked at that, Dee.
Here, take a minute and look at it. Here's a total. But those are the question marks, and I don't have an answer for that.
Well, if you remember, we did get an email from Chauncey indicating that he may have to have a grand jury. And that we might have to pay,
Right?
I don't know what it was, but
That one's 98
mhm,
for the jury to feed them was 98.
I'm just curious what the grand jury was for, more than I am what the eight.
Oh. Yeah,
The grand jury proceedings are secret.
Except with the eighth.
That's what the eight, yeah. A little late to text me now.
Sorry, my insurance is,
No. I mean, if you'd have texted me earlier, I'd have told you to be safe. And watch for deer.
yeah. Well, I watched it.
I would have thought, Josh, somebody that's a storm chaser that could spot, that would have had a,
It's easier to see a tornado than a deer.
there's already a.
There was a
She's
car
looking up
coming
for a
from the other
tornado.
way,
Are you gonna
otherwise
sign
my
this?
lights would have been on.
I tell you.
Nobody
Nobody
said-
Brandon got
Oh,
married.
you-
I came up here to take the dog out and then go back down to Keel. And so you go past the campground and you turn right to go to the lodge. And I don't know, about halfway there. And it's downhill and windy and stuff. And a car coming from the other direction. And then when that happens, then it's right. As soon as that car gets by, there is, he's not moving, but he's standing right in the middle of the road.
So 3 years ago, this happened, a deer on our side of the road crossed. The other car didn't see it, hit it. The deer like skidded across the pavement. We ran it over and all the airbags and everything went.
Well, I swerved and missed this one, but on Liberty
You're not
Drive,
supposed to swerve.
yeah, well, on Liberty Drive, where Noah's Ark used to be,
Mm.
just before that curve, a deer come across. I had my old minivan, and I smacked him in the hip and spun him away from me, but he peed all over my bumper.
Well, you probably would have too.
Yeah,
I'm trying really hard not to get that visual.
well, I never got any dents or anything, but my wife hit one on 34 east of Mount Pleasant coming back, was on the highway, so she smacked him at about 70 miles.
Recently?
No, it's been several years ago, because we haven't had a minivan for a long time. And then she was going to a basketball game up north. And I was at a CETA board meeting and she called and she goes, I hit a deer. And I had just bought that damn car. But all it did was dent the hood and dislodge the headlight. It didn't, the car was drivable and all that.
So can we go back to talking about money for candy for the ambulance? I understand you donated some money last time.
Yeah, because the board told them that they couldn't use
Right,
county money.
which brings me to my point. Are you willing to donate some this time for them? Because I will as well.
I think I've got a buck in my wallet.
Huh?
I've got a buck in my wallet. You know what the price
Anything
of-
else? I'll get my jar.
Yeah,
I just think when we've started that precedent, we should continue it.
well, yeah, I have no problem doing that.
Because I'm sure Dee has a checkbook with her too. We could all just save them some money. I'm trying.
I just went out and bought a bunch.
For yourself?
No, for the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
Buy those bags of assorted
Okay.
drugs, assorted candy.
We're not handing out drugs at trick or treat, although.
Do you want to make a
We
motion?
get a lot more business.
Yeah.
A motion to approve, allow claims and approve reports in the amount of $371,361.26.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So
I'll give you a check.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody. You guys can vote to adjourn.
second,
I seconded.
motion approved. Yes.
As soon as they
Vote.
figure- as soon as they
Motion
figure
to
out what we're
adjourn.
doing.
Aye.
Yes.